Hi, this is Virtual Field Trips Explore and Create. My name is Katie Bogle. You can access this particular session if you would like at any time. You can go to bit.ly/bold22 field trips. Bold is all caps, and the F and the T of field trips are capitalized. You can see that on the screen. So again, bit.ly/bold22 field trips to have access to this slideshow. All right, so as we move forward, in the real session live, since this was recorded for you guys to access at any other time, this is the point where I would ask the participants to think about where they would like to virtually travel with your students. And I'd like for you, as you're watching this recording, to consider the same thing, because in just a little bit, I'm going to ask you to actually try to travel a little bit virtually as well. All right, so who am I? I am a media coordinator at A.L. Brown High School. This is my 20th year here. Previously to that, I was a former Spanish teacher for 6 years. I'm AIG certified. I'm also National Board certified and renewed. And I have a neat perspective into my students because one of them is a rising junior and the other one just graduated from my school and is now a rising college freshman at UNC Charlotte, studying to be a teacher. All right, so as we go through today's content, there are going to be some slides that simply have a pin, and there are going to be a lot of the slides that are early in the slideshow. These are ones that I'm just going to mention in the sense that you probably want to go back to the bit.ly link and actually click on the links that are in there for you and really dive deep if that particular thing caught your interest. But I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it today. I want to make sure that you have time to really get your hands in and start creating some stuff. So my goal is for you to leave with at least one virtual field trip option that works for you, and that you're not trying to take notes because you know that you've got access to the bit.ly at any time. You're able to go back in and get all the notes off of this slideshow. All right, in the real session, live, face-to-face, I would ask students, the participants, to think about, where their background is and just kind of give me a feel for that as I'm presenting to that particular group. But I need you to have a disclaimer. This area in education is a moving target. So as of the time that I'm recording this is all accurate, but things do change as time goes on. All right, for the plan for today is I'm going to show you how to simply find some content that's out there for virtual field trips. Then we're going to talk about how that might get delivered out to students. I'll show you a few options there. But then we're going to do a deep dive, as you can see the diver there, into creating content of your own to deliver to your students. And then we'll wrap it up today with some best practices of how you might want to do virtual field trips. All right. Now, everybody's devices are different. So what I did was I tried out all of the options on all of these devices. And so for each thing that I mentioned, you're going to see an icon key where I say, all right, this is going to work or that's not going to work. And you'll see why. So I talked about VR viewers. So that's, with a phone, an iPad, a Windows laptop, and a Chromebook. I don't own a Mac laptop, but usually whatever works on a Windows laptop should work on a Mac laptop. Okay, so a couple of brief little mentions here. I want something already made that I can do in my classroom with the technology I already have. Okay, so if you don't want to try to create something from scratch as your primary thing, let me give you a few options you might want to check out. So if your district has Discovery Education, there's a virtual field trips thing that's put in there. Now, it's not really interactive. It's just a video where they went out and they went to a spot and then interviewed people and that kind of stuff. So if you have Discovery Ed, it might be a good idea for you to go in there and see what kind of options are already in there for you. Obviously, that doesn't work on virtual reality viewers, but should work on all the other devices. All right. Now, as far as the best curated content already done for virtual field trips, it's got to be hands down the Google Arts and Culture website. There are hundreds of different options. I've linked several of them. So you can see I've got it starred with the most interactive Street View tours, just to kind of give you an idea of what this looks like once you find a tour. Then this is an example of the Trip to the Moon tour from 1966. And as you scroll down, you'll notice that it's got imagery along with narration that the students would read, and the imagery is student controlled. So it's 360 degrees. They can look around, they can turn, and then as they go down a little bit further. So again, this is self-guided, already created, already done for you by Google, and put together for you. So if that's what you're looking for, this is probably the best option for you. Lots of links there for you to go back in and look at. Doesn't work on VR devices, and it doesn't work on the iPad. It wants you to download the app, which is what we're about to talk about next. So the Google Arts and Culture app does have actual VR reality for tours for phones. So you can go in there. It also has objects that the user can manipulate around, like pottery or whatever else. There's galleries with augmented reality. So it's just kind of cool of the different options that you can do with that. That one, again, is their app version. So therefore, it's going to work best on a phone or on an iPad, and you're going to need to download the app. So again, those are curated and do actually work as VR if you want to do the true VR. All right. Another option is North Carolina teachers are putting together what's called North Carolina Virtual Reality Adventures. And I've got that linked here for you. It's a very beginning thing. This has only been going on for the year of 2022, 2021, 2022. And basically people are using ThingLink to create tours from around North Carolina, where they go take these pictures and create these tours. So to give you an idea for what that looks like, my favorite example so far is Seaside Serenity, which is Springer's Point Nature Preserve. And so I'm in this thing, and if I hit play on it, you can actually hear the background music or actually sounds. Yeah. So you can hear that. And then as I click on different things, then you've got narration along with immersive reader. So really cool option here. This is a self-guided tour already created by teachers. And then, of course, you're welcome to create and submit tours around North Carolina as well. All right. So it works across all devices. But if you insert any polls or videos in ThingLink, then it's probably going to be a pain in the viewer for the phone, because it's going to open a new tab and all that kind of stuff. But everything else works pretty well on the phones. Okay, so that's the already created stuff. What about if you wanted to create something for yourself? A simple project that uses stuff you already have. So I know you kind of laugh at me for this idea, but Flipgrid, believe it or not, could be a decent virtual field trip option through what's called their Grid Pals. So Grid Pals are where you connect with another teacher worldwide. And as of March of 2022, when I checked this, there were 44,500 teachers worldwide connected that would be happy to connect with you. Why does this matter? Because you could actually make friends with somebody in Paris and then have them literally stand outside with their cell phone and take you on a virtual field trip in Paris. So connect with a real person worldwide and see what you could create. Obviously, that works on laptops, Chromebooks, and iPads. And since you'd be having a human, you would not be in virtual reality. All right, Google Earth. This is one that I'm going to suggest gets used along with another piece of virtual field trips, because a lot of times students don't know where they are in the world. And so I use this one usually as my context for setting where we're going. So for example, one of my trips that I take students on is around to the 7 wonders of the world. So I will set these different spots, and we'll start with North Carolina and turn the globe. And then I'll move to my next spot, and we're going to head all the way over here to China. You get the idea. Okay. And as you saw in my original one, there are multiple places that I'm going to be able to go, and I've already preset them in here. This is what's called a project within Google Earth. So that is a great option to just put people geographically in location, and then add that as a piece to what I'm going to show you later. So Google Earth works on the Windows laptop and on the Chromebook. It does work on the iPad, but it's through the app. But the app has even more content than what you see on the web version. It includes nature, games, layers, culture, travel, and education. All right. So at this point, I'm going to ask you to start playing along, because those were things that I just kind of wanted you to be familiar with. But from here on out, this is where I want you to start curating some actual content that you could use in your real tours. So remember that question I asked you, where do you want to go? So I'm going to pretend that I want to take my students to Spain for right now. All right, so if you're in the bit.ly, go ahead and click on the link right here where it says google.com/maps. And what that's going to do is it's going to take you right here. Okay, so mine is going to show me Kannapolis because that's where I'm recording this video currently. Let's say that I wanted to go to the Teatro Romano, Merida, Spain. Okay, Teatro Romano de Merida. So I'm going to choose that. Okay, and so you can see right here, Teatro Romano de Merida. And I've got all these ruins and all this kind of stuff. But the real magic is in this guy right here. So as you're playing along, watching this, you can pause the video if you need to, and then come, watch this and come back. But what you want to do is you want to grab this guy and drag him, and you'll notice that you have both blue lines and blue circles. So blue lines are street views where the car just went down the street. And then you've got these right here that you can go into that are uploaded by a user of some sort. So if I wanted to drop him right here inside that circle, then you can see that this one was taken by Jesus Rueda, but it is a full-on, right here, interactive image, okay, that I can use. Okay, so hold that thought, get a cool image of some sort. So now that you have a cool view, I'm going to switch over to my student looking view or my participant view, which is another tab over here, right there. Okay, and this is what this board looks like. So I'm going to add a sticky note right here, and then I'm going to change it to the smallest font size. And I'm going to ask you to type the location of your street view and paste the link to your street view. So if I go to this right here, here's my link, and this is the Amphitheater of Merida. So switching to my student view, Theater of Merida, and paste the link, and then post. Okay, and you can resize it if you'd like. You can edit it. You get the idea. Okay, so as you do these different ones, go in here and add those because you'll notice those are actual links. So now you can click on different ones. So if I wanted to now click on the Teatro Romano link that I had saved from earlier, I get a completely different one. Okay? All right, moving back. So after you've posted your sticky note, then at that point, I want to show you one more thing that you can do with this. You can actually embed this link. So I'm going to switch back to that one. Okay, so here it is. So switching over here to the Teatro Romano, I can embed it by choosing Share or Embed Image, Embed a Map, and then you'll notice you got the link here. I'm going to hit Copy HTML right there, and then that'll be saved for me for just a minute from now. So I've copied that. I'm going to close it and go back to my presentation with you guys. Okay. So Google Street Views works on the Windows laptop, the Chromebook, and it does actually work on the iPad as well. And now sound effects. Oh, look at that. There's applause. All right. So if you really want to go the extra mile, you can add sound effects to your virtual tours. So what I've put here for you is 3 links to copyright-friendly sources for sound effects. So I've got the BBC Sound Effects Library, Pixabay, and the YouTube Audio Library, which is actually where I pulled that one from. If you'd like to put sound effects to go along with your imagery, you can do that by putting like the YouTube. If you choose the YouTube video, you can put it on the slide, then shrink it, and then set it to autoplay like I did for that example. So to give you an idea of what that looks like, so there's the YouTube video right here, and then the behind the scenes of that same slide that I'm showing you right now. I've got the YouTube video, and under format options, you have the option to choose play automatically, play on click, or play manual. And so play automatically is what it did for that example. You could also do it as click manual, and you'll see me do that as an example a little bit later. And that's what the second option is you can put it as a clickable link, and then click on the sound, and it would open up in a new tab, and you can play that as it leads the tour. It would open a new tab, and it would play only on your device, and you'll see me explain that a little bit later. Also, the premium version does have the option to add audio to slide. This is the only thing that is just the premium version, but I'll demonstrate that again a little bit later. So just don't forget that that is an option if you want to add sound to your tour as well. So YouTube videos in 360 degrees. This is one where basically what you can do is you can search YouTube, but they even have videos in 360 degrees. Okay, let me show you what I mean by that. So if I go here and I search Argentina, let's say I want to take my students to Argentina. These are just all the videos that have to do with Argentina. But I can click on filters right here, and then I can choose 360. And now, instead of having just videos, I have ones that are fully immersive. Let me show you what I mean by that. Okay, so there they are. But you notice that I have the ability to rotate the video while it's playing. Okay? Get the idea? Pretty cool. All right, so those are 360 degree videos. If you decide that you want to embed this, which is going to come in handy again in just a minute, then you can do that by choosing the share option right here and choosing the embed code. So instead of just sharing the link, you do share embed, and same as before, you got this source code right there that you can copy and paste. All right. Now, why am I talking about this whole embedding thing? Oh, before I get into that. YouTube 360 videos, those do work on Windows laptops, Chromebooks, iPads, and they even work on VR viewers. In fact, that's how I usually introduce students to VRs. I put the video on their phone, and then we hit the cardboard icon, and that way they're in VR on their own phone. Okay, so at this point, pause the video and think about which imagery providers you are the most excited about. Are you excited about the Google Arts and Culture website? Are you excited about finding stuff on Street Views, on YouTube? What are you excited about and why? Pause and think about that. All right, now that you've had a chance to pause and think about that, let's keep moving on. So we found these images, we found Google Street Views, we found YouTube, but how am I going to get these actually out to my students? So I really considered before I did a deep dive with one of these, which one was going to be the best option. What you're looking for is you are looking for a true Google Expeditions replacement, you need to check out expeditionspro.com. It's very new. I've been using it as a beta tester since the get-go, which was November of 21. You have to upload your own 360 degree photos and videos. So if you did Tour Creator before and you have a Google Expeditions kit, you need to take a look at this. Okay, and that's what it works on. It works on the VR viewers and it works on the teacher iPad. If you don't have that, that doesn't apply to you. Okay, next option. There is, as you saw in ThingLink, a really great option for having a self-guided tour. So if you want the students to have their own control over everything, then you probably want to do stuff or might want to consider doing stuff through ThingLink. You can get in there, start playing with it. There is a difference between a paid version and a non-paid version. You know, there's a reason why this one wasn't the one I landed with. So go in there, play with it if that sounds interesting, but it is self-guided. Okay, and again, like I said, it works on all devices. Nearpod was my close second on possibilities for today. And the reason I didn't use Nearpod is because of its free version limitations. So its free version doesn't let you do more than 40 students per lesson. It only lets you have 100 megabytes of storage total. It does a lot of what I'm about to show you with Pear Deck, but since everybody doesn't get the same access at the free level, that's why it ended up coming in second. Now, if you are a Nearpod district and you have the full version and you're more comfortable with Nearpod, what I'm about to demonstrate with Pear Deck, you can do with Nearpod. So you can play with that one as well. Okay, so again, this one came in second because it does work across a lot of the different devices. VR viewers is a little touchy because it'll open tabs within the actual phone, which drops them out of the VR. All right, so where we're going to spend our time at this point is in Pear Deck. Now, why did I end up landing there out of all the options for the deep dive? Because one, it's a teacher-guided experience, which means that the class can share that experience, talk about stuff, talk about the imagery. With this one, you can include any Google Street View. If you can see it on Street Views, you can put it in your Pear Deck. Any Google 360 video, you can put it in your Pear Deck. Any websites, still images, audio clips, and you can have interactive student questions, as you've already seen me kind of modeling with the Pear Deck, them being able to pause. You'll be able to see that even more in just a moment. It does work across devices. Your Pear Deck should not be blocked in your district, unlike ThingLink. Sometimes that is blocked. If it is blocked, you can use your personal Gmail account and use Pear Deck. You can use Pear Deck for more than just doing VR tours, which is not the case for expeditions. That's what it's for. The free version also allows for unlimited creation. So even if your district does not own Pear Deck, I'm going to show you what it looks like from the free side. Also, unlimited students can join. So no matter how many students you teach, and you can take existing Google Slides or existing PowerPoint slides and modify them to make them interactive without having to reinvent the wheel. So I'm all about taking your already existing lessons and making them more interactive. Okay, so that's why I chose Pear Deck. As I mentioned, you've got the ability to have street views, you've got the ability to have videos, all that. You can read all this stuff a little bit later if you're interested. It works across devices. Again, VR viewers is because you'd have to open stuff up and all that. So it's not your best option for VR. For true VR, you need to go Expeditions Pro. All right, so let's go to Costa Rica. I'm going to switch now to my personal Gmail, which does not have the full version of Pear Deck. And I'm going to lead a tour to Costa Rica, and I'm going to let you see it on the student device, which in this case is going to be the window I'm currently on. All right, so switching now back to my personal side of things, I have a tour already created, and I've launched it. And then in the other window, I have joined it as the student. Okay, now I'm going to turn off my camera from this point forward just so that it's not trying to jump back and forth with all of this. Okay, so from the teacher side, I lead it and I ask the students, what do you already know about Costa Rica? And so on the student side, I can say that maybe I know about rainforests. All right, on the teacher side, I can hit show responses and I can see that so-and-so said rainforests. In the free version, you do not get to see what the students' names are, but you do get to see that when you export the spreadsheet at the end. So it's not entirely anonymous, it's just anonymous in the moment. So you can lay it out that way, or you can lay it out that way. You can also hit hide responses. Move on to the next slide. All right, do we know where Costa Rica is? So this is the point where I, as the teacher, would say, okay, here we are in North Carolina, and Costa Rica is all the way down here. All right, so here's Costa Rica. Talk about where it's in Central America. And then back in the student view, what they would see is they would see that map. And we talk about how we're going to this dot, which is inside the Provincia de Alajuela, and we're headed to the Catarata de la Fortuna, which translates to La Fortuna waterfall. So then I say welcome, and this is what they see on their slide. So they see my slide, but they also see this interactive imagery right here, okay, where they can look around and they can see the waterfall and they can move it around. Now, I have also in my slides, I have embedded this little speaker button. So I can hit play on that and then really quickly go back to this tab. And now as the students are looking at this, they're hearing rainforest sounds playing out of my speaker as the teacher. Okay, and of course I have control over that right there. All right, now I'm going to move them forward. So now on the student side, they don't have that imagery anymore. And we talk about the Parque Místico and how it has the really cool hummingbirds and how it has these really neat hanging bridges. Okay, and I use still imagery here to talk about that. And then we move on to talking about the fact that they have zip lining. All right, now students at this point hit play on their devices, and off they go, zip lining in Costa Rica. But not only that, it's not just a video like that, it's a full immersive video. Okay, and you can let your students watch that. From the teacher side, that's all you see, and they see that slide over here. And we move them forward, and we ask them an interactive question. You have 2 hours to visit. Which of the 2 activities would you choose to do? So the student decides, I think I'd like to walk on the hanging bridges. All right, from the teacher side, I can hit show responses, and I can see that right now somebody has moved this here. But you can see also in live time that if I decide that I want to swim, you can see now that's moved down here. This is currently in overlay mode, but if you had multiple students, you could have them in like laid out next to each other. This is a great way to show what the popular answers are. And then you can hit hide responses and move forward. Students can draw or type what they thought about this tour. So I thought this was really cool. Yay, checkbox, smiley face. Okay, and now back over here, I hit show responses. I can lay them out like this, and I can see that this person drew this. They can also type as well. On the student side, you can see that they can add a text box. Awesome. And back to the teacher view, and I can see that as well. High responses. All right, now the other thing that I can do at this point is you see where it says new prompt? I can on the fly decide that what I want to do is throw a new slide to the students. Just did it that quickly, just chose a slide. And now that's the new slide for the students. So this was not something I had created in advance. Something I just did on the fly. And I can drag that over and I can show the responses on the teacher side. And sure enough, I can see that that's what they're saying. Okay, so that should give you a pretty good idea of why you can use Pear Deck to be able to do this stuff. All right, little behind the scenes of how I did that. All it is Google Slides, but it's Google Slides with this add-on right here. So we choose add-ons, and then you would choose get add-ons the very first time, and then choose Pear Deck. Once you have gone in there the first time, you'll see it show up here, Pear Deck for Google Slides add-on. And so now I'm going to open that add-on. It's going to pop up over here on the side. And then I have some options. Now remember, this is the free version. I'm showing you exactly what I know everybody's going to have access to. You have access to these 4 types, and then you have these that are premium versions, but you're going to see I got you a little help with that. All right, let's look at that imagery piece. So here is that waterfall, that interactive image. All it is a website. And you'll notice what I've done is I've just copied and pasted that link that I showed you earlier right into here, okay? And then you can see that the image is shown up. So it's everything after that HTTPS, okay? Right here, HTTPS, and then www, blah, 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 blah. And that is how that works. Same thing, that zip lining video was the embed code out of YouTube. Same thing after that HTTPS, and then there's that link with the embed. So switching back over right here, that's this. That's a HTTPS right there for that one. And for this one, that was the share or embed image, embed, HTTPS, that. Okay, that whole link. And that's what you copy and paste to get in there. All right. So that was a real quick overview on that. So what you can do at this point is you can get your own copy of slides that I've created for you that allow you to create. So I'm going to grab this one right here. I'm going to go ahead and copy this link address because what it is it's a forced copy of Pear Deck slides that I've got for you. So this is again what it would look like from the participant side. Switching over here, paste that forced copy. Okay, and it says, do you want to make a copy of this, the landscape orientation? Yes, I do. I want to make a copy. And so it's copying that into my personal account that has the free version of Pear Deck. And this is what I've created for you. So you can grab that out of the bit.ly, make this copy, and then if you want to bookmark it, you can. If you want to make a copy again and kind of have a master, and then, edit again. I don't care how you do it. You've got the link, make as many copies as you want. I then went ahead and put in each type. So there's a text question, a multiple choice question, a number question, a website question, which allows you to put that embedded Street View or that embedded YouTube video. And what I've done for you already is gone ahead and put in some sample questions and ideas. So again, add-ons, Pear Deck for Google Slides add-on, so that I can see that. And you can see down here on the bottom, it says students browse. If I click on website, because that's what this is a website slide. What I did was I went ahead and put in, like, this is my school from the Google Street Views. If you replace that with yours, it's going to work. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. So here we are in the Teatro Romano de Mérida. So I'm going to grab here, share or embed image, that same one you already have open, embed a map, copy HTML. In your copy, you're going to replace it. So clear it all out, paste it. Now, it's not going to work initially because you've got to get rid of part of the code at the very, very beginning that comes before that HTTPS. So we're going to go all the way back to the very, very beginning of it. There it is. And everything before the HTTPS needs to be deleted. And as soon as you do, it works. Okay? So at that point, you hit Update Slide. And at that point, you've got the ability for that one now no longer has the Ale Brown in it. It now has that. And that means that you can now change this and you can get rid of it and you can go here and you can say that this is the Teatro Romano. You get the idea. Okay, so this is totally editable. And then if you wanted to do a Google YouTube video, you can just duplicate the slide, leave this one as the Teatro Romano. This one's going to be my Argentina video. Argentina. Ziplining. No, that was just Argentina. Okay, it's still a website slide. Now it's the one that I put in there a minute ago. We're going to clear that out. Go back over to Argentina, where I had my link. There it is. And I'm going to copy that HTML. Go back, paste. Again, it doesn't work because you haven't gotten rid of all the HTTPS piece. All right, there's HTTPS. Going to get rid of everything in front of it. And now it works. It's got the video. And you're going to hit Update Slide. So now you have your video for Argentina. So you can see that it's got YouTube in there now. And this one has the Google Maps in there. So these are really easy. The number questions are there for you if you want to change the numbers. And then the whole paid versus not paid on the draggable and the drawing. I went ahead and put a drawing slide in there. So you can just duplicate it and add it. It'll work just fine for your students. The draggables, I went ahead and put in 5 draggables for you to go in there, but you can always edit it because it's already a draggable that you have. So I can hit draggable and I can edit it. I can get rid of the number of slides here. I can get rid of that and get rid of that and get rid of that instead and hit Update Slide and only keep 2. And I can delete the stuff that was put in there before. You get the idea. Okay. So this is yours to do with as you wish. And if you have that original template copy, then you can make as many copies as you wish and delete as many slides as you want and duplicate as many slides as you want. Don't forget that the template library has stuff in there for the free version users as well. So where that is right here under template library. You can get stuff for the beginning of the lesson, during the lesson, the end of the lesson, and anything that's here. Notice again, I'm in my free version. Maybe I just want to do a quick drawing slide. I can click that. And now I did that. I have a drawing slide, even though I don't have the paid version of Pear Deck. And I can edit it. I can change this to whatever you want. And the final thing, I've got your audio links put on here as well. So this is where you can get your sound effects. You can get them from BBC, you can get them from Pixabay, and you can also get them from the YouTube audio library. So if you are a premium user, let me switch back over to my premium version. This is the only thing that's premium specific. So switching over to my premium version, I want you to notice right here that you have the ability to add audio to slide. So that is something that exists in the premium version that does not exist in the free version. But the free version, you can always put links on it like I did before with the other example. So when I did the audio embedded on the slide in the free version, that was how I did that, was just used a link that opened up the BBC sound effects. Okay. All right. So switching back over, what are you most excited about now? So pause the video, play for just a minute with this whole putting street views into Pear Deck and putting YouTube videos into Pear Deck, and think about what you're most excited about now. All right, now that you've paused, let's do a last couple of things. I do have some links for you to work through if you'd like. If you have a true VR kit, you can go in there and play with that. I would recommend highly that you dog food anything that you use with your students. So in other words, you go in there and try it from the student view before you go and put it in front of students. Also, these do not need to be used in isolation. Google Earth is set for you to be able to just set context, but then you can do Pear Deck, which is still imagery, embedded street views. You can ask interactive questions. And then if you wanted to throw in maybe some pottery from the arts and culture website and let them see that and manipulate that around. So you don't have to use just one thing in Pear Deck. You can use several different options to do it. As you consider it, make sure it's not just a sit and get experience. So do put in interactive questions in the Pear Deck like you saw with my Costa Rica one. You could use a Jamboard if you want students to all be able to see responses live. Times to use this would be prior to learning about something, or once you've studied something, it's a way to spark further inquiry. So research more about an interesting tour element or share back what they learned. Now, students can create their own virtual field trips. They can do it through the free version of Pear Deck. They can do Google Earth tours. So even if you're in a district with a paid version of Pear Deck, the students only have access to create in the free version. But hey, I've got that slideshow for you already. Share it with them as a forced copy, and then they've got access to all the different slide types that they can change. Student side, they can embed street views with no problems. I didn't have any problem when I tested it out. On the YouTube side, your district may have locked down the ability for them to search videos like Argentina. It just depends on how your district has set up YouTube. So depending on what you find, you may have to go in and approve a video and share the link with the student for them to be able to put it into their Pear Deck. Google Earth worked exactly the same. As a student login, student Chromebook, they were able to do exactly the same stuff that I was able to. So next point I want you to pause and think is this. How could these activities that I've shown you been less sit and get? How can you make them even more interactive? Pause and think about that. All right, now that you've paused, if you end up creating a cool tour, please do share that link on the Lino board. So again, that was that same link that I've got linked on this slide, on the previous slide, back here, same thing. So add your actual tour and maybe even say tour of Costa Rica or tour of whatever. And instead of the Street Views link, put the link to your slideshow. Make sure you set your viewing rights to anyone with the link can view so that anyone can do that. And then make a copy of anybody's that, puts theirs on the slide on the Lino sticky board that you'd like to use. If you really want the paid access of Pear Deck, you could do that as a Donors Choose grant. And I've got the links to you here of exactly how to possibly pull that off. And then if you have any questions, even if you're watching this as a recording, then this is the easiest way to do it. I have a link for you. It's tinyurl.com/evalbogle22. It's literally a 3-question thing, there is a spot for other questions on the survey. So you can type in questions and I will get a email response that says somebody has watched your video and has a question. So you can type it right in there. I do have one other session, which is bridging the language gap with EL learners. So I'm putting in a shameless plug for that one if you would like to watch that one as well for the NCBOLD session. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope you learned something that you can use and can go out there and create in Pear Deck and add in street views and YouTube videos as much as you wish. Thanks so much.